McCowan and Shannon with you, and we are joined by our pal, Pinball Clemons. What is your title with the Argonauts these days?
They call me the general manager, but all that means is I serve everybody in the organization. So that's what my job is.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So did I actually see you down on the sideline on Sunday, kind of calming things down a little bit? Was that you?
Not Sunday. That was weeks back.
Okay. All right. So you didn't have to do it Sunday as well.
No, not this Sunday. Yes, the team has grown together nicely.
When this season began, did you think you had a team capable of being where you are now?
Well, when I came on board, I told them that I thought that the goal was to get to the Grey Cup in 3 years, right? Consistent with that, we took first place in the first year and we're one game away from the cup. And so you kind of maybe expedited those. Getting here is always difficult. People can say whatever they want about a 9-team league and all of that. It is tough to get to this place. But in saying that, after the first season, we really thought that we had a chance. Now, what is one of those hidden challenges that people haven't really noticed or talked about a whole lot is that we've got a coach that was a rookie head coach, and he has done a phenomenal job. So our hats off to Ryan Dinwiddie. But what was more complicated is you have a season where you finish in first place, right? You're not for the coach of the year, the best coach, head coach in the East, and almost all of his staff left. The head coach took his offensive guys with him, right? So he was the defensive coordinator. He took his offensive guys with him. He ended up having one guy that's the same this year as last year. So you're dealing with a totally different defense, an all new special teams coach and concepts, as well as his team that was around him from an offensive standpoint was depleted as well. And so with all this newness was our greatest challenge in terms of everybody's learning new systems, learning new things, and we've come together nicely in what is less than a year's time.
The other person that you added to your organization I don't hear his name very often, and that's Jim Barker. You brought Jim back. What has Jim meant to the growth of this team?
Jim is that sage advice, and he has played in the background, and he's the grandfather, the overseer. Now I do want to give credit to a couple of young guys who have been maybe even a little bit more instrumental in where we are, and that is Vince Magri. Who is our assistant GM, and Alex Russell, who actually got me on this call. But these young guys have both done a tremendous job. And again, I brought Jim here, right, to collaborate and to bounce things off, to oversee, to watch the process, to gauge the process. And he's done all of that, right? So he actually was the guy who brought Vince Magri, who I mentioned just a bit ago. He brought Vince on. He gave Vince his first shot. So he's granddaddy to all of us.
You play a team that has a chance to be one of the most dominant teams in the history of the Canadian Football League. The Edmonton Eskimos, of course, with Warren Moon, they are the standard, having won 5 in a row. But Winnipeg has a chance to be that kind of team. What do you make of them?
Well, I would say when we look at this team, they really don't. They have no holes, right? They're good in all three phases of the game. They have the really team guys that you need on your team to move your team forward. The guys that really get the concept. The head coach is brilliant. I love him to pieces, and will hold true even on Sunday, even though I hope he loses. They are. Just they're everything that you want in a team, and it will take a miracle to beat this team on Sunday, but I believe in miracles.
Hey, you brought up an interesting thing when you think you and Mike O'Shea on opposite sides. Don Matthews has got to be somewhere smiling, don't you think?
Wow, yeah, and when we're together, we often, he's the guy that we talk about, right?
Yeah.
He's the good shepherd, right? He's the one who stewarded all of us and gave us that additional vision and a real passion that he had too, right? And so I think, yeah, both of us have benefited. I think Mike would have still been there. I'm not sure I would have.
Yeah. Hey, and the other one is your quarterback. I profess to be a semi CFL expert, which means that I don't know anything. I would have told you a couple of years ago, this guy had no chance. That this guy, you guys are just, you're whistling into the wind. But man, oh man, what a season did he have? What changed for him, if anything, to make him a solid quarterback as he was this year?
He's grown into the role and gotten more confidence. It's really just that simple. Because when you say 2 years ago, 2019, with a team that only had 4 wins,
right?
And he threw for 4,000 yards. Consistent with that. Having him, knowing that he is the number 1 quarterback, he never really had that blessing. He's always kind of been guy. And 2, then being able to play in an offense now for a second year in a row. Those things I think have really aided him. Again, Ryan has done a tremendous job. Our quarterbacks coach has a tremendous amount of experience, and he's done a phenomenal job with him as well. So I think the combination of the confluence of those things have come together. As the number 1 guy, faith in him. He's the guy starting the season. He's in an offense that he already knows. I think that was the tangible difference for him.
And it doesn't hurt that, Ryan was a former quarterback, McLeod's a quarterback, and they have that ability to communicate just at that level, correct?
That is correct. They do, and Coach Mike, we call him our quarterback coach. Is he's coached he's had some pretty good pupils, and he does a really good job of relating and communicating to him as well.